welcome in. We're going to be making this crochet cowl neck scarf pattern. This is the cowl neck scarf. It is made with a V stitch, so it's nice and flexible, and it's nice and thick and wide. So we're going to be making this today. We are going to be using two of these big twist skeins. It's 100% acrylic. The color is Spooky Season. It is a 4-weight yarn, and we're going to be 2-plying. So we're going to use 2 of these skeins together at the same time. You can use any yarn that you choose, and you can really play around with different yarns, different hook sizes to match your yarns and get some great color combinations. We're going to be maybe using a measuring tape, so it's always good to have a measuring tape. We're going to use a darning needle or a yarn needle to sew in our ends. And for beginners, it's really handy to have a stitch marker in case you need to mark some of your stitches. Today's project, we're going to use a 7mm crochet hook, and you're going to need a pair of scissors always. With your 2 pieces of yarn hooked together, so make a slip knot by making a circle and pulling the yarn through that circle. Insert your hook, and you have a long enough tail to sew your ends together. So we are going to chain 91, and they're going to be nice loose stitches. Okay, so continue making your chains until you have 91. Make sure they are not too tight and they're nice loose stitches. Okay, so I have just chained 91 chains, and now we're going to place a double crochet into the 5th chain from the hook. So we do not count the loop, and we count down 5 V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where we're going into. So yarn over, and we're going to place a double crochet into that 5th chain from the hook. And these skip stitches are going to count as a double crochet chain 1. So that's going to count as our first V stitch. And then we are going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to place another V stitch in the next stitch. So our V stitches are a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet all into the same stitch, just like that. So that is what it should look like. Okay, so we're just going to repeat that across. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, and we're going to place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch, skip 2 stitches, place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch, so skip 2 stitches, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same stitch, skip 2, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch, skip 2, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch. So continue making that pattern of V stitches across, and I will meet you at the end of the row. One of our last V stitches here, we're going to place 1 more. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, and we're going to place our last V stitch right here. So we place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, and at the end of the row you should have 2 chains left, and that is what we want. You're going to grab your chain. Okay, so you're going to make sure that your top of your stitches are at the top and the bottom of your stitches is at the bottom. And we're going to place a slip stitch right here into the top of this chain 3. So insert your hook and pull your yarn through the stitch and then through that last loop here. Okay, this is going to connect your scarf, and then you can use this to tie and connect right here and join right here. So use your tail to sew this together, and we do want these last 2 chains so that it will match all of our other chain 2s here. You can just turn your work over and sew that end together. You can do a quick little sew together, and then you can make it look a lot nicer at the end of your project. I just make sure it's nice and secure and it's not going to go anywhere, and then I can make it look nicer at the end of the project. Okay, so make sure your ends are not twisted at all. It is around 16 inches or so, 15 and a half, 16 inches. Gauge is not super important. It's a scarf, so you can just make it as loose or as tight as you want to, and it depends on your tension and the yarn that you choose. If you're using a bulky yarn or several smaller yarns together, it all depends. So something around 15, 16 inches is good. Okay, so for the next round, we are going to start our next round in this V-stitch. We're going to do a single crochet right there in that spot, and then we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And this all counts as our first double crochet, chain 1. And then we are going to place our next double crochet right into the same V-stitch space. So yarn over and do your double crochet right there. Okay. And then we are going to go right to this next V-stitch, which is our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Those are our V-stitches. So we're going to go into this next V-stitch with another V-stitch. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, into the next V-stitch from the row before, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So we're going to be making new V-stitches right into the same space as the row underneath. So we're going to put our V-stitch right into the V-stitch from the row before. So you're going to be double crocheting, chain 1, double crochet. We're not going to skip any, we're not going to make any single chains or any spaces between these. We're going right into each V-stitch with another V-stitch, and the V-stitch is the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. If I'm ever going too fast, you can click the screen, click settings, and choose to slow down the playback speed. Okay, so we're just going to continue putting a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into each of these V-stitches from the previous row. So this is what your work should look like. And I find it's helpful to put your finger right over when you're doing your double crochets and your chain 1, just so it helps your work, helps your tension. I tend to look at the end of each stitch just to make sure that I have 2 yarns on my hook. It is very easy to drop one of these yarns. And then every once in a while, turn your work and make sure that you have not dropped one of these yarns from your hook if you're double stranding. So we're just going along this row, placing a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into each of the V stitches from the row before. Again, just make sure that you have both strands of yarn if you are two-plying. Okay, so we're approaching the end of this round. Okay, so this was the last V-stitch here on the row before, so this was our last V-stitch in this round. And this is our initial chain that we did here. Insert our hook there and do a slip stitch. So insert your hook and pull the yarn through. And then we're going to insert our hook here in this space, in the next V-stitch space. And we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 3. I like to do a single crochet and then chain 3, and then that counts as my first double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to place another double crochet right into that same V stitch space. And that single crochet that we do just brings us into this space here. Okay, so we're on the next row, and we're just going to continue. So row 4, I believe that we are on. We're just going to continue row 3. Okay, so we are placing 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into each V-stitch. So we're making a new V-stitch right on top of the previous V-stitch. So all of our V-stitches will be stacked. We're not placing any spaces now between or skipping any. We're just putting V-stitch, V-stitch, V-stitch. So you're just going to continue placing your V-stitches, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same space. Continue doing this across the row. So this is what it should look like. Okay, so we're just continuing to place V-stitches right across this row. And I will meet you up at the end of this round to connect one more time. So continue with your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, which is the V-stitch. Continue with this and I will meet you at the end of this round. So this is our last V-stitch from the row before. So we're going to do our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same space of the last V-stitch. Okay, and again, we are going to slip stitch right here into our initial chain to connect. So join with a slip stitch to make sure that you have your double crochet here and your chain space here, and then you're connecting in that next chain. Okay, and that makes a nice connection here. We're going to start by doing our first single crochet. That counts as our chain 1. And we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do another double crochet right into this V stitch. Okay, so that is how each row is going to start. That's going to leave a nice step up here that blends right in with your work. So this is what your connecting, joining your round should look like. Okay, and then again, we're just going to continue placing our V stitches, which is our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in every single V stitch going across. Again, if you need to rewind the video, you can. If you need to slow down the video, you can. So we're placing V stitches right on top of our V stitches. Our V stitches are our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right into the same stitch, or same space, I should say. Okay, so this is what it should look like. So just continue now, repeating these rows. It's a 1 repeat row from now on, so we're just repeating row 3 over and over again. And here is our step up. So each time you get to the end of the row, you're going to be slip stitching right here. So we are doing a slip stitch right there to join in it would be the second chain up, because we want to have this chain as our chain 1 space before our next double crochet. And then you're just continuing doing your V stitches into all the other V stitches. So I will do one more row and show you one more time here how to step up, and then you can just work on your own and make it to the length that you want. I believe I did 20 rows, but you can do as many or as little as you want. So just continue doing your V stitches into the V stitches from the previous row, and I will meet you back to show you one more time how to do your step up here and join your rounds. So just continue on your own, plus press pause, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, we are back at the end of our next round. So we're going to do our last V-stitch right here in the V-stitch from the previous row. So we're placing 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into that last V-stitch. And then we are counting up 2. So we're putting a slip stitch right here in the second chain. Pull it through. And then we're inserting our hook into this next V-stitch space. So insert your hook, pull up your yarn, and we're doing our first single crochet. That counts as our chain 1. And then we're doing 3 more chains. 1, 2, 3. That is counting as our first double crochet chain 1 for our V-stitch on our next round. And then we're placing a double crochet right here in that same V-stitch space from the row before. So place our next double crochet right here. Okay, so that's our first V-stitch for this round. And that was our step up. So this is what it should look like. Okay, so now we're just repeating again. We're placing a V-stitch in each of the V-stitches from the previous row. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same V-stitch, and we're just going to continue this row by putting V-stitches in every single V-stitch and then doing our join to connect our rounds. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to continue so that I get to my 20th row. So after I do my 20th row, I will meet you back here. So continue on your own for as tall as you want your scarf to be. And I will meet you back after I've done 20 rows and show you how to connect and then do the border. I have continued doing the 20 rows here, and I'm going to connect. So I'm in the process of doing my last, let me go back, my last V-stitch right here. So we do our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the V-stitch. Okay, so we're going to count up 2 just as normal. Slip stitch to join. Once we join with a slip stitch, we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to do a row of single crochets in every single stitch going across. So check your yarn and see, I have this much left of mine, so I think I should be able to go around. But if you run out, just grab some yarn that might be the same color. And we're going to put 1 single crochet into every single stitch. Okay, so just continue doing a single crochet into every single stitch going around. Make sure you have 2 pieces of yarn if you are double plying at this point. So you're just going around the whole edge of your scarf with a single crochet. So just go around and do a single crochet into each stitch, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm just about at the end, and I've just been placing 1 single crochet in each of these stitches. Okay, that's our last stitch right there. So I'm going to pull out, I'm going to leave a little tail and pull your yarn out. Get your darning needle, your yarn needle, And I'm going to go into the first single crochet that we have here from the front to the back. And then I'm going to go into the last one from the top, this top, not from the front, but from the top to the back, like that. Pull it through. That's going to give us a nice invisible finish there. And then I like to just make a knot. And then we're going to weave in our ends. So I like to go right underneath some stitches here across. So you're gonna go right underneath those stitches. We're not going all the way through so it shows. Then we're going to skip a stitch, go underneath the stitches again, so it's not showing through on the good side. We're doing this on the wrong side. And then skip a stitch and go back through. That'll give you a nice secure end. Cut your end off. Okay, and then you're going to go back and find your ends here. Now, if you have not sewn your bottom edge together, do that with your ends, and then get your darning needle and do the same thing. We're going to just make sure it is secure with a little knot back here. And then we are going to just weave in our ends. And again, this is on the back side. So check your work to make sure you're doing this on the back of your work. Cut your yarn. Okay, and this is the seam that we did, and I think it's pretty well disguised there with our step up. So this is where we connected each row, each round. And here's your beautiful cowl neck scarf. So again, mine has 20 rows. You can do 20 rows if you want, or you can do more or less. And then on the last row, I did this row of single crochets. This will give your scarf a nice finished edge. And you can leave it like this, or you can add some sort of a tie here. I am going to be adding a tie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some corresponding yarn, and I'm going to chain a long chain that I can weave into the edge of this right along here where we did that final single crochet. We're going to weave our chain into our last row that we did right in between here. So I'm going to, it's late at night now, so I'm going to do this actually probably tomorrow when I have better light to show you. I'm going to make a long chain, and I'm going to attach 2 pom-poms so we can have a nice tie if you want that option as a variation. Or you can leave it like this and it's a beautiful cowl neck. And I'm going to measure mine for you. So across, it is running right around 15 inches, and then it is about 15 inches tall. And I hope you love this tutorial. You can watch the rest of the video to see how I add the pom-pom tie. Okay, this is the pom-pom set that I am using. I bought this online, and I'm sure you can find something like it or similar. And this set has 4 sizes of pom-poms. I am using this pink one, and it gives like a medium-sized pom-pom. Okay, so with what's left of my yarn, I have a pom-pom maker here, and you can use some cardboard to wrap it around. But I'm just going to show you how you can just dress up this scarf by adding a pom-pom tie. All right, so for this pom-pom maker, you just wrap the yarn around. Okay, so once you have your yarn wrapped around, you're going to close this, and then I'm going to cut along this edge. Okay, so once we have all of the yarn cut around the pom-pom, you're going to take a piece of yarn and you're going to wrap it in these little grooves, and you're going to tie a tight knot. I like to do a double knot. And then I like to turn it and pull it the other way and do a double knot the other way. Okay, and we're going to want to leave a little bit hanging in case we need to tie it somehow, some way. That I always do that just in case. Okay, and then we should be able to take this off and it will be a little pom-pom. Again, normally I would make these a lot larger, but I'm just about out of yarn. And then we just pop it off. And here's our little pom-pom. So get your scissors and just trim. So here is one, and I need to gather up some yarn to match this to make a second one. So earlier in the video, you saw that I made these two pom-poms out of different color yarn, and I actually had run out of whichever yarn that I was using to use for this scarf. But what I did is I just went and got some black and white and orange and purple and mixed it up with this. So I think it came out similar. I'm going to use some extra black and white that I have. So I'm going to take some white and some black yarn. I'm going to 2-ply them just like we did for this scarf. And I'm going to chain a long chain so that we can string this in and weave it into our edge of our scarf. So I'm just going to keep chaining and holding it up to my scarf until I know that it is longer than my scarf edge that I need to wrap around. So if this is something that you want to do, you can try this also. And just hold it up to yourself and see how long you want your pull tie here. Okay, so this is the width of my scarf when it's sort of folded in half, or how it would be, I guess, on your face like this. So I have my chains longer than what I need, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to weave this in to my hood, and I'm going to do it on the edge that has the border. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my seam, and I'm going to put that down under the neck. I think that would be the least visible. I think it blends in pretty well here, but I'm still going to be putting this sort of underneath the neck. I think that would be the least noticeable. So what I'm going to do is go in with my chain, and I'm just going to go in and skip every other V-stitch and see if I like that. And you can experiment with how you want to weave this in. Maybe you want to weave it in between your V-stitches. It's all up to you. But don't be afraid to experiment. I'm always looking at things and thinking, oh, what can I do differently on that? So just experiment with things. It's fun to create new things and experiment. So this is an idea I had for this cowl neck. So I'm going to see if I like it. And maybe I don't like it and I won't do it, but it doesn't hurt to try new things and experiment. Okay, so they are both coming out of the same hole on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is just gently pull this through and even this out so that it's even. And then I'm going to get my two pom-poms And first what I'm going to do is just tie this on with a bow using these strings and just attach it just to see if I like this. And if I don't like it, then it's not permanent. I can just take it out at this point. So I just put my pom-pom onto my yarn needle, and I'm just going to go into maybe the bottom part of this and pull my ends through from my pom-pom. And I'm just going to tie a bow so that I can see if I like this or not. And then maybe I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. But I'm just going to tie a little bow. Just so I can see if this is something that I want to continue with. All right, I'm going to get my other one and do the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go try this on and see if I like it. Okay, so these actually look pretty cute, and I think the best length is to have them just sticking out maybe just a couple inches. So make your chain about the same length as going around your edge of your scarf, and then just knot them after a couple inches like that. And then take your two pom-poms, and what you can do is to make this so that you are not stuck with these pom-poms, you can take them on and off if you would like, is just to do what I've been doing and just tie a tiny little bow there. Then you can take these on and off. So if you decide that you don't want to wear them with the tie and bow, that will be an option for you, so you're not locked into always having the pom-poms there. And all you would need to do is untie these bows, and then just take your pom-poms off and just pull the cord out. So that would give you just a second little cute little look. So it depends on the look you're going for. And then if you really, really love the pom-poms, then you can just tie a knot there and have them be permanent. But I think they look super cute with the pom-poms on there. Super cute. So this is just another variation that you can do. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed making this really cute cowl neck scarf. Keep watching for more tutorials.